If you have a real estate photography business or you're thinking about starting one of the most important things to make sure that you have right is your pricing, your packages, how you structure everything around charging your clients. And so on this video, I'm gonna go over how much I currently charge in 2024 for real estate photography by going through these 5 things. Number 1, the exact services that we offer. It's important to be a one-stop shop in 2024 and be able to be a resource for your clients to book photos, videos, 3D tours, floor plans, everything they could need to market that house. Number 2, I'm gonna go over square footage versus set rate pricing, some of the pros and cons of each, as well as what we've chosen to do at my photography business. Number 3, we're gonna go over our views on packages, what we've learned doing this for more than 10 years now and pricing just about every way you can think about, what's in those specific packages, how many packages we have, everything like that. Number 4, I'm gonna go over how to price for your area specifically. You could just copy me if you want. The problem is if you're in a different market than I am, that pricing is not gonna be dialed in, and you definitely wanna get it dialed in. And then number 5, I'm gonna cover the single biggest mistake that new real estate photographers or smaller real estate photography businesses make when it comes to pricing that absolutely kills their growth. If you mess this up, number 5 that I'll teach you about, it's over before you've even started. Diving in with number 1, as far as the actual services that you need to offer, I mentioned you need to be a one-stop shop or whatever you want to call it. All I mean by that is that you need to offer all of the products that real estate agents will use to market their property. So for example, if you just offer photos, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. If you just offer photos and videos, same thing. You really want to offer photos, videos, 3D tours, floor plans, drone photos, virtual staging. Like there's a lot of things you need to offer. And so this will give you an idea by looking at our packages, what you can offer. So photos in this one, 60 seconds, so normal cinematic video, a 3D tour, a floor plan, drone photos, virtual twilights. You can play around on our order form to see the full list of services. But if you're not offering the full list of services, what's going to happen is 2 things. Number 1, for the agents that are willing to use you, you're not going to have as high of an average order value as you could. An average order value is arguably one of the most important metrics when it comes to growing your business. How much you make per shoot on average, AOV, we call it in the industry. If you have a lower AOV, it just makes everything harder. And so one of the ways you can increase your AOV is by offering more services, giving agents a broader range of what they can order so they can create a higher invoice, pay you more per shoot. So that's number 1. If you don't offer all these services, your AOV is not going to be as good as it could be. Number 2, I think this is arguably the worst part. Some agents just won't want to work with you. If you don't offer everything, they're not going to schedule 2 different vendors to do a shoot at the same house. That's just not convenient. And so you're going to not only have less money per shoot, you're going to limit the amount of total agents that want to work with you. And so you definitely want to offer all of the services that real estate media companies can provide in 2024. Number 2 is whether to price by the square footage or to have a flat rate pricing structure. So I will say there's not necessarily a right answer here. You have to decide what's right for you. At my photo business, we price everything via a flat rate. And so there's no difference in cost depending on if it's a 1,000 square foot house or a 6,000 square foot house. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. And I'm not saying it's always the right answer. What we found and what's important to us are a couple things. Number 1, if someone books an 8,000 square foot house, yeah, we don't charge as much as we could have if we had square footage based pricing, but also if they book a 1,000 square foot house, they probably get charged more. So it kind of evens out. And we found that for us, the average order value is higher when we don't do square footage pricing and for the people we've seen make the transition. So that's the number 1 reason, higher average order value generally. Number 2, and this is kind of dependent on what's important to you, but I want to be able to know what our pricing is and have everybody on the team easily able to quote pricing. If I have to get the square footage and run a calculation, it's just another thing that adds some complexity to it. And also when it comes to referrals, it's really easy to be like, yeah, they just charge, the favorite package I get is $325. Like, oh, cool. It makes that process a little bit less, there's a little bit less friction. So that's the reasons I do that. Kind of makes up for itself, and we've seen higher average order value. This is not a make or break in your business. So the reason I even put this in here is because you should just go with one and not think about it too much. If you want to just do what I do, we've tested a lot of things, go with flat rate pricing, but ultimately spending a lot of time on this, not something that's going to help your business move forward. Okay, moving on to number 3, should you have all a la carte pricing? They can order what they want, or should you add some packages in the mix, or should you only have packages? So at my business, we do the hybrid of both. The top 3 things you'll see in our order form are our packages. So we have our base media package, includes 25 photos, drone, and a floor plan. You can see it's $195, and then it moves up quickly to $365. We add in here, it's just more photos, drone photos, 3D tour from Zillow's 3D tour product, and then a floor plan. And then our biggest package, which is a little bit of everything, right? So it's photos, video, 3D tour, floor plan with room measurements and a 3D floor plan, 12 drone photos, virtual twilight photos. So it's kind of the works, if you will. What we found is that if you only do a la carte and you don't have packages, you're going to have significantly lower average order value, which is bad. So packages also work. What we do is we have packages here, and then we have a la carte services below. So if they just want to order photos, they can absolutely do that. You can look at our packages for reference as far as what you should have in each package. Ultimately, we do change this a lot. We're always testing. And so there's not necessarily a right answer here, but feel free to copy what we have in our packages. I wouldn't necessarily copy our exact pricing. I'll talk more about that in a second. But as far as what's in each package, it's probably a good starting point, and it's not going to lead you wrong, starting with what we have in these packages. As far as the next steps go, so when an agent actually selects one of these packages, it continues to upsell them. So you'll see they put in the address, but they're offered because we use Spiro, this is what this is built in. It offers them a chance to add even more services to the package here. And then it gives them another option to add again near the end, a pop-up offer. And so that's a way that we increase our average order value. And those are my thoughts when it comes to packages. Definitely have packages. Now, last thing I'll say on the packages front, just go back here. Don't have 25 packages. I would recommend 3. Any less than 3, there's not really a good reason to do that. Your average order value is going to be lower. Any more than 3, it takes too long for the client to figure out what's in each of them. And they'll probably just end up going a la carte, or at least they will at a higher percentage, meaning an average order value decrease. So just roll with 3 packages. It also looks nice when you pull it up on the screen. It's just 3 simple packages. People are used to 3, small, medium, large, right? About everywhere you go, there's 3 items. There's a lot of psychology that goes into this, but I would just go with a 3. It's gonna make things a lot easier for you. Moving on to number 4, how do you price things in your area? So I've said that I don't think you should just copy my pricing. Now, if you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, maybe it'll save you some time because that's the market that my business operates in. If you're anywhere else, what I would suggest you do is spend some time researching competitors' pricing. What you're gonna notice a couple things. Number 1, you're gonna find a lot of competitors that don't have listed pricing. Don't consider these competitors. None of the big volume players or anybody that's doing significant business in a market, they all have posted pricing. And so if you see someone that hides their pricing, they're probably one of those photographers that shoots a little bit of everything and they're gonna custom quote it. That's not who you wanna model because they're usually not doing a lot of real estate media business. So make a list of a few, find 3 or 4 competitors that seem to be doing a lot of business, do a little research, check their Instagram, see if they have a team, that kind of stuff. When businesses have a team, it's a good sign they're doing things right because they've been able to scale a team for a reason. So look at their pricing. Then what I want you to do is I want you to be in like the top half of the pricing. Then that will allow you to make a really good decision about what the pricing is in your area. And you can kind of adjust it to fit the packages and everything that you've put together. It'll give you a ballpark on what's going to be acceptable and make sense in your area. What you'll notice is in a lot of areas, you're going to see a lot higher pricing than we do at Norman & Young. Dallas-Fort Worth is a fairly middle market. It's not like this very high-end city. There's not a lot of waterfront in the middle of Texas, a few lakes, but they don't command the prices that it would in California, Florida, New York, Arizona, and Scottsdale, for example. So it's really important to get the pricing right for your specific area. And this is the best way to do it, to look at your competitors in your specific area. And that leads me right into number 5, which is the most important tip I can give you, especially when it comes to pricing. Don't undercut your competitors. So in tip 4, I showed you how to find them and how to kind of figure out what pricing should be. What I would suggest is once you find that pricing, I want you to be in the top 50% of the pricing in your area. What a lot of new real estate photographers do wrong is they go, okay, there's my competitors, let me be the cheapest. And here's the thing that really messes people up with that. I'm not even saying that being the cheapest is bad from any financial perspective. I will in a second make that point, but the point I'm making now, and the most important point, is that if you go the cheapest, what you're telling yourself is that that is going to give you an advantage. You're saying by being cheaper, I'm going to get more business, and that leads you to not think about providing value to the client or think about going to actively find those clients. It's sort of a passive approach. Let me be cheaper and it'll make it easier. I won't have to do as much stuff. I won't have to do as much service. I won't have to sell as well. It'll be an easy decision. Well, here's the truth. None of the agents care about a $20 price decrease. They simply don't. And so just by saying, hey, that's going to give me an advantage, you're putting your focus in the wrong place. That should not be what's giving you your advantage. That kind of moves over to my second point in this topic is it's a financially bad move for your business. It actually gives you a disadvantage because every shoot that you do, you're getting paid less than your competitor. which means it's going to be harder for you to scale. You're going to be able to provide less services or less smiley services because you're always going to be making less, and that's going to make your margins smaller. And something I've learned that I didn't necessarily know at the start is profit is the sign of a healthy business. I want you to be in the top because I want you to make the most profit, because the business with the most profit can hire the best team, can pay the best editors, can have the best stuff, and can be happiest, right? No one loves their business when they make $3,000 in revenue and spend $3,000 on stuff because their revenue wasn't high enough per service they offered, meaning their margins were just zero. That doesn't make for a good business. That doesn't make for a happy business owner. And a stressed, sad business owner doesn't grow a good business. So very important to not undercut. It's just simply not the lever that you think it will be when it comes to getting more business. So be in the top half. Once you get a little bit established, move that up. Be the top in your market, or the top 20% at least, and it just gives you a big advantage. There's no advantage, in my opinion, in this business to undercutting. It just doesn't help. So that's what I have for you in this one. If you want help with all of this, handheld through the process, setting up your business, learning photos. If you're brand new, we'd love to help you in our launch program. It's for people just starting. We have a pretty cool process for how we look at your business too, to make sure it'll work in the area that you're in specifically. So your market plays a big role. So if you're interested in that, even if you're like, hey, I don't know if I want to start now, or maybe you're not like, yes, I want to be coached. That's okay. Like, that's not the purpose of that call. You can grab the link below and just talk with my team, ask them your questions. We're available to help people, coaching or not. We have a bunch of resources we can direct you to. And number two, if you already have a real estate photo business and you want to dial everything in so you can scale your business, make sure all your systems are in place, your average order value is as high as it could be, and most importantly, run a peaceful business. A lot of businesses are out of control in this industry. Same link below. Just tell my team your situation. We've helped a lot of businesses, and so we kind of know what's wrong when we look at a business from the surface, and we'd love to help with that. So find that link below. I'll see you in the next video.